Next, we're going to be fitting the felts and the shims to the spindle, starting with the tailstock. The shims go in these areas, and the felts sit down in here. I ordered 1/8 and 3/16 inch felt, thinking that would cover me, and to figure out how thick the felt needs to be, I'm going to measure the gap between the two bronzes right there. It's hard to read. So we'll just tighten it down. And we got about 0.14. This is the 1/8 inch. And this is the 1/8 inch felt. And it fits nicely in there. So even with a few thousandths worth of shims, this is the right choice, I think. The actual felt itself is intended to lubricate not only the spindle itself, but also the thrust washers. And you can see marks, little rust marks where the bearing was sitting when it was outside, maybe even a couple times. Okay. Anyway, I've cut the required felts and I've oiled them up. And they slip in place real nice. There's not much to see with cutting. It's just work with scissors or a guillotine or whatever you have to get it nice and straight. And you see these touch the thrust washers. Okay. And I have the factory edges up against the spindle. And I've already done this, but just to demonstrate that the felt is not holding the cap away from the spindle. Gonna tighten down the, so you see it spins. Tighten down the end cap bolts, and it should lock the spindle, and it does quite easily. So we're not by any means holding it. We're not holding the cap away from the spindle. That's good. I've taken automatic transmission fluid and placed it over this edge, this lip, to see if I can get an indication on this piece of felt. If it does, I can use it over here to get a mark. I'm going to give it some time to soak in. Okay, and there we go. That looks pretty good. We'll do that. Okay, I've cut the first one, and as you can see, it's got the back side's a little longer for this piece right back in here. And there's a chamfer along here. Now, I don't know if I noticed that on the other one or not, but this being a teeny bit longer, it can kind of push into, when it rotates, it'll push it into that chamfer a little bit, and it ought to be just fine. So there is my first felt. And again, I got a little sticking out, and maybe that's bad, I don't know. But I'm happy with that. It worked very well. I tried some 30 weight motor oil as an indicator, and it's got no color, and it just wicks through the whole thing. The automatic transmission fluid was a whole lot better way to go with that. This is going to be a repeat of what we did on the other side. We're marking the place where the shim goes because the felt butts up against that shape. That's to say it defines the back edge in this case. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to here, about like that. And I'm gonna cut it a little bit long front to back so that we get a little tension in there. Okay, front to back so that we get a little tension in there. Okay. Okay, the part we want to keep is this, like that. So I'm going to make a cut here. And unlike the back bearing where you have the thrusts on both ends, this isn't nearly as critical. Okay, now temptation is to cut there. You can't. You need to do this sort of thing. Okay, this should be the approximate shape. Okay, we're back at the spindle. Done with the automatic transmission fluid. And obviously it goes like this because it's longer in the back. I left some extra in there. Now let's take it off. You can't add it back very easy. And as I said on the other one, we have this little trough. Wondering if maybe the felt can push down in there a little bit. Okay, that one is a little too long here. It's a little tight down on this end. I think I can go with that. Just need to shorten. Actually, just bring this one over a little. There. I think I can live with that. Better too tight than too loose, because we want them pushed up against the rotating spindle. Yeah, look how nice that pops up and down. So this one will pop up and that one will pop down if there's a little room in that those chamfers. Okay, done with those. Now we're off to the house to make shims so that we can adjust the spindle clearance.